These are the 8 Spongebob episodes that are so weird they'll make you question everything you thought you knew about Bikini Bottom. 8th place, Hall Monitor, Season 1, Episode 7. SpongeBob becomes hall monitor for the day, and what starts as a simple school responsibility turns into citywide chaos. But here's where it gets trippy. SpongeBob somehow causes more destruction while trying to help than any villain ever could. The episode follows SpongeBob as he helps people around town, but every good deed creates a domino effect of disasters. A simple ice cream cone leads to a massive car pileup, and don't even get me started on the manhunt. But here's the mind-bending part. By the end, SpongeBob is literally being hunted by the police as a dangerous criminal, complete with wanted posters and news reports. The innocent sponge we know has somehow become Bikini Bottom's most wanted fugitive without even realizing it. The ending twist where SpongeBob saves everyone from himself is pure absurdist comedy. This episode proves that SpongeBob's reality operates on completely different logic than ours. 7th place, Sleepy Time, Season 1, Episode 15. SpongeBob enters everyone's dreams, and what he discovers will change how you see every character forever. This isn't just dream hopping, it's a psychological deep dive into the minds of Bikini Bottom's residents. Patrick's dream is exactly what you'd expect, riding a kiddie ride forever while drooling. But Squidward's dream reveals his deepest desires, performing clarinet for a sophisticated audience who actually appreciates his art. The contrast is both hilarious and surprisingly touching. But here's where it gets really weird. SpongeBob discovers that Plankton dreams of world domination even in his sleep, and Sandy's dream is a twisted version of Texas that makes no geographical sense. Each dream reflects the character's core personality in the most surreal way possible. The ending, where SpongeBob's own subconscious kicks him out of his friend's dreams, suggests that even SpongeBob's mind knows he's been too invasive. This episode is basically Inception for kids, and it's absolutely brilliant. 6th place, The Hash-Slinging Slasher, Season 2, Episode 16. Wait, this is actually part of Graveyard Shift, but the Hash-Slinging Slasher story deserves its own recognition for being one of the trippiest horror parodies ever created. Squidward's ghost story becomes reality in the most unexpected way. The 3 signs of the slasher's return start coming true. The lights flicker, the phone rings with no one there, and a ghostly bus arrives at exactly the stroke of midnight. The atmosphere becomes genuinely creepy, which is insane for a SpongeBob episode. But here's the twist that breaks your brain. When the slasher arrives, he's just a nervous kid looking for a job. Everything has a logical explanation, except for one thing. The lights are still flickering, and the reason why will make you question reality. Nosferatu. Just Nosferatu randomly controlling the light switch. No explanation, no context, just a classic movie monster casually existing in SpongeBob's world. It's so random, it's genius. 5th place, Shanghai, Season 2, Episode 13. The Flying Dutchman capture SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward, and what follows is a supernatural adventure that gets progressively more insane. This ghost pirate operates on dream logic that makes no sense, but somehow works perfectly. The Dutchman's ship is filled with impossible rooms. A perfume department in a ghost ship? Why not? The Fly of Despair is genuinely disturbing artwork that feels like it belongs in a horror movie, not a kid's cartoon. But here's where it gets really trippy. SpongeBob and Patrick's attempts to be scary are so bad they're actually terrifying. Their ghost costumes somehow work better than actual supernatural powers, and the Dutchman gets genuinely freaked out by their incompetence. The multiple endings of this episode, depending on which version you saw, add another layer of weirdness. In one version, everyone gets eaten. In another, they become part of the crew. The fact that multiple realities exist for this episode makes it even more surreal. 4th place, Rockabye Bivalve, Season 3, Episode 9. SpongeBob and Patrick adopt a baby scallop, and what starts as innocent parenting quickly becomes a psychological study of domestic life gone wrong. The episode gets progressively more disturbing as SpongeBob transforms into an exhausted parent, while Patrick becomes a deadbeat dad. The time-lapse montage of SpongeBob's deterioration is genuinely unsettling. We watch him go from cheerful caregiver to sleep-deprived zombie, complete with stubble and bags under his eyes. It's like watching someone have a mental breakdown in real time. But here's the trippy part. Patrick has been lying about going to work this entire time. He's just been sitting under a rock watching TV while SpongeBob suffers. When SpongeBob discovers this, his reaction is so intense it's almost scary. The ending, where the scallop flies away after learning to be independent, suggests that maybe this whole parenting experience was just a fever dream. The psychological implications of this episode are way deeper than they should be. I Had an Accident, Season 3, Episode 20. Spongebob becomes an agoraphobic after a sandboarding accident and refuses to leave his house. What follows is a meditation on fear, isolation, and the thin line between safety and insanity. The episode shows SpongeBob's gradual descent into hermit life, complete with talking to inanimate objects and creating imaginary scenarios. His indoors song is catchy, but also deeply concerning when you think about the mental state it represents. But here's where reality breaks down. Sandy and Patrick create a fake outside inside SpongeBob's house, complete with a gorilla in a bikini. When SpongeBob points out that this makes no sense, the gorilla literally beats up Patrick and rides away on a zebra. The ending suggests that maybe SpongeBob was right to be afraid of the outside world, because apparently it contains random gorillas and zebras underwater. The episode's logic is so broken it becomes its own form of surreal art. Second place, SB-129, Season 1, Episode 14. Squidward travels through time and discovers that SpongeBob and Patrick are eternal constants in the universe. No matter when he goes, future or past, they're always there in some form, suggesting they might be cosmic forces rather than just neighbors. The future timeline is genuinely disturbing. Everything is chrome. SpongeBob has been cloned into an army called Spongetrons, and Patrick's descendants are primitive cavemen. It's like a dystopian sci-fi movie disguised as a cartoon. But the prehistoric timeline is even weirder. Primitive SpongeBob and Patrick are somehow exactly the same as their modern counterparts, implying that they haven't evolved at all across millions of years. They might not even be real creatures. The alone dimension where Squidward gets trapped is pure nightmare fuel. A white void where nothing exists except his own consciousness. When he starts begging for SpongeBob and Patrick to return, it suggests that maybe they're figments of his imagination keeping him sane. First place, Frankendoodle, Season 2, Episode 14. SpongeBob creates Doodlebob with a magic pencil, and what starts as innocent fun becomes an existential horror story about creation, identity, and the nature of reality itself. Doodlebob speaks only gibberish, me-ahoy, me-ahoy, but somehow communicates pure malevolence. He's SpongeBob's dark reflection, everything SpongeBob isn't, violent, selfish, and destructive. The fact that SpongeBob created his own worst enemy is deeply unsettling. But here's what makes this episode truly trippy. Doodlebob exists in a different art style than the rest of the show. He's literally from another dimension of animation, a 2D being trying to exist in a 3D world. The visual contrast creates cognitive dissonance that's genuinely disturbing. The chase sequences break the fourth wall as Doodlebob interacts with the real world outside the paper. When he erases SpongeBob's arm, we're watching one fictional character literally delete parts of another fictional character. It's meta horror at its finest. The ending, where SpongeBob traps Doodlebob on paper and he becomes a normal drawing, raises questions about consciousness and reality. Is Doodlebob still aware? Is he suffering? The episode doesn't answer these questions, leaving us with existential dread disguised as children's entertainment. These episodes prove that SpongeBob's writers weren't afraid to get weird, and sometimes the strangest stories are the ones that stick with us forever.